Happy New Year, everyone. It is 2020. It is the month of January, so I guess you know what that means. Terrible fucking movies to review. So The Grudge 2020, I don't know if this is a sequel, a reboot, a pre-boot, I don't know what this is, but I did see the original, not the original Japanese, but the one with Sarah Michelle Gellar, and it mostly was because I was a Sarah Michelle Gellar fan. Like, this movie came out like right when Buffy was about to end its run on television, and I'm a huge Buffy fan, for those of you that don't know, and since it was a movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar, I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna go see it. But I don't really remember that much about the movie. The only thing I really remember about the movie is that I don't remember anything about the movie. So that just goes to show that the first Grudge movie, at least in America, wasn't that memorable. And so going into this movie, when I saw the trailer, I was like, it looks kinda intriguing, but not really. So let's just get into it, I guess. In this movie, you have what is called the Grudge, which is a curse that originated in Japan. And when somebody violently dies in a powerful grip of rage, it creates a curse in the area where that rage and murder was caused. And anybody that interacts with that spirit, that curse is now passed on to you and wherever you go. And so somehow that curse ended up in America, and now here you go with this story. And in this movie, you have Detective Muldoon, played by Andrea Riseborough, and she and her partner are investigating a murder mystery. And in coming across the house where the murder takes place, she enters the house. Thus, the curse is now upon her. And in trying to figure out everything that's going on, she investigates and discovers all the other people that have entered that house and that have had the curse put upon them, and trying to figure out a way how to get the curse off of her and to stop it forever. And yeah, this movie was boring. This movie was trash. This movie was horrible. Like, I'm not even gonna bury the lead. This movie was a flop. There you go. You got my rating for this movie. And funny enough, like, it's sad to say that because this movie was filled with actors. Like, you could tell that they were trying to make this movie work. Like, they were acting in this movie. Like, they brought, not necessarily their A game, but they brought a great performance to this movie. You even had John Cho in this movie, and a person that's been in a lot of horror movies, Frankie Faison. And you could tell they were trying, and you felt, and you did feel something for their characters, but at the same time, there wasn't enough for their characters to do. And on top of that, like, this movie was very disjointed. And I found out, and again, because I don't really remember the Sarah Michelle Gellar Grudge movies, there's always a bunch of flashbacks that shows you all the different families that were affected by this Grudge situation. But because there's so little of the flashbacks, and also the transitions are sometimes very weird, that you don't really connect to any of these characters. And then also on top of that, like, Detective Muldoon is supposed to be the main character, but because they keep flashing back to all these different characters, you're just like, who am I following? Who am I supposed to be rooting for? I don't really feel anything for any of these characters, so I'm not really rooting for anybody. I don't really care about any of these characters. And for this to be a horror movie, like, where's the horror? Where's the scares? Like, even the jump scares that they tried to throw in this movie weren't there. And not only weren't they not there, the score for this movie was terrible. Like, for this to be a horror ghost movie, I didn't feel anything from the score. I didn't feel any creep factor, any sense of dread or terror from the score. Everything just felt lackluster. And then some of the character reactions were just completely unrealistic. Like, from the acting standpoint, you could tell they tried to make it work, but just from the writing standpoint and how people actually react in real life, it didn't make any sense. And this might be a spoiler, but nobody's gonna see this movie. Nobody really cares, so I'm pretty sure you probably don't care either. And it doesn't really tell you anything of the plot of the movie. It's just one scene that happened in this movie that just made me roll my eyes all the way to the back of my head. There's this part in the movie where Detective Muldoon is washing her face in the sink, and she fills the sink up full of water. And then suddenly, while she's washing her face, a ghost entity pushes her head down into the sink, basically trying to drown her. And finally, when Detective Muldoon is able to pull her head up from the sink, she turns on the light and looks around her bathroom and is wondering, what was that? Like, who did that? What was going on? And then she doesn't see anybody, and she was just like, she kind of gives this look like, huh, that was weird. And I was just like, what the fuck? That's not how somebody would react. She didn't try to search her house. She didn't try to grab a gun, especially considering she's a cop and she literally found someone trying to drown her. She just looks around her bathroom and doesn't try to search her house, especially since she has a kid in the house. Like, I was like, what the fuck was that? And then just in the way this movie ended, I was just like, that's it? That's all it took to stop this thing? All right. Trash. As I already blew my load in the beginning of this review, yeah, The Grudge 2020, definite flop. This movie was absolute trash. But have you seen The Grudge 2020? Maybe you liked it. What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Nobody saw this movie. But anyway, before you go, if you could hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out the channel. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.